FBI Director Christopher Wray warning Russia is continuing its attempts to meddle in U.S. elections, effectively saying 2016 was just a test drive. Let's bring in Fox News strategic analyst. He is retired U.S. Army General Jack Keane. Great to see you, General.
Yeah, good to see you, Liz.
So you're going to be testifying for House Foreign Affairs on Wednesday. Can you give us a preview?
Well, I can't get into details of that because that would be unfair to them. But in a general sense, in countering Russia's resurgence, certainly the national defense strategy as well as the national security strategy identified the fact that we're in a big power competition once again, this time with Russia and with China. And although Russia is not the Soviet Union, nonetheless, it is formidable, and it comes at a time after 17 years of 9/11 wars and budget reductions when the United States military capability, Liz, has eroded rather significantly. So the credibility of our deterrence, therefore, has also eroded, and that is somewhat alarming and something we truly have to fix.
General, let's switch gears to another security issue. Here's President Trump telling Fox Business's Maria Bartiromo that the border crisis could be fixed in 15 minutes if the Democrats would give Republicans the votes. Let's watch.
We have a court system that has 900,000 cases behind it. In other words, they have a court which needs to hear 900,000 cases. How ridiculous is this? This has been building up for years, for many years. And it's just a system that Congress can fix, Maria, and they don't get off their ass. Yeah. And it's the Democrats. They could solve it so quickly because we're going to have all the infrastructure soon. I'll have the wall up. I mean, by the end of next year, most of the wall is going to be up.
General, your reaction to that, and also, is Mexico doing enough?
Yeah, well, that's a great point. Certainly my reaction to that is I agree with the president that we need congressional laws to remove the loopholes that are providing the incentives that we've been discussing for months for these people from the Northern Triangle, Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala to come. If families came from Mexico because the country is contiguous to the United States, we can return them immediately just as we would return a Mexican male. But because they're from a country not contiguous to the United States, therefore we can't return them. And then when they overwhelm us in the numbers where we can't hold them at all, then all we're doing is releasing them right now as thousands are coming every day, over 100,000 a month. An absolutely intolerable situation. As to Mexico, Liz, a lot more that can be done. They've got to get their federal police on their southern border to really have a closed border so everybody processes through and is legitimately entering the country. They're not doing that. Secondly, they have stopped some caravans that have been in transit. But what they need to do is put a full court press on that, as well as the cartels and the transnationals that are involved in bringing these caravans. And they've got to get their police efforts involved in that, but I think also our CIA's got to get involved here. Our Federal Bureau of Investigation has also got to be involved in helping them stop this, much as we did in Colombia very successfully with the guerrilla movement, the instability, and the cartels that were in there. We gave the Colombians a hand in putting that down and achieving a degree of stability. Much more that we can do with Mexico, and they can do themselves.
You approved troops at the border. I mean, Defense Department, the Pentagon just approved, breaking news, 300 more support troops going to the border. You support that?
Yeah, I always have from the beginning. I know that puts me at odds with some of my military peers, but I do believe there is a national security and a sovereignty issue at the border, and it's appropriate for the Department of Homeland Security, who's overwhelmed, to ask for additional resources to help them. It's something we have done in our historical past when we have a unique problem that we're facing right now. It is a modest commitment by anybody's definition of a force that comes close to 2 million people in terms of what we're putting at the border, and has a $700 billion operating budget. So, yes, if they feel they need those people to help them in a capacity that they're going to provide, I understand transportation, et cetera, to do that. They won't be involved in law enforcement. I do think that's a meaningful contribution and should be done.
General, quick take on Massachusetts district attorneys. They're going to file a federal lawsuit to try to stop ICE from arresting at Massachusetts courthouses. Your quick reaction, General?
For the life of me, I don't understand how authorities would willingly break the law. I mean, here are people who have committed crimes, and I should be notified that they have them in their custody for having committed a crime. If found guilty and punished, then after that they should be deported by ICE. And the fact that that notification is not taking place, to me, is absolutely an absurdity.
General Jack Keane, great to see you, and thank you for your service to our country.